Now, this next piece has no direct connection with naturism, but it does with our dear friend Lee Baxendale, whom I met in 1971 when we were both participating in the International Breck Congress at Rutgers. I had translated Days of the Commune, and he had translated The Mother, and we really became very good friends, even before I ever heard of naturism, or he did either, for that matter. But he was a very, very dear friend for the rest of his life. And one of his greatest achievements, I don't know how many of you are aware of this, was he co-edited the Encyclopedia of Radicalism and the Arts. His co-author, his co-editor, was a man named Paul Buell, a Germanist, whom he met in Madison, Wisconsin, who later became a distinguished professor at Brown University in Providence, Rhode Island. When he retired, he went back to Madison, which is where he is now. Paul is an expert on graphic comic, graphic biography, graphic novels, and he commissioned what is probably the greatest graphic biography ever written about Rosa Luxemburg, Red Rosa. He commissioned this magnificent piece, this magnificent book of drawings and footnoted letters. How many of you have ever heard of Rosa Luxemburg? A few. Okay. Rosa Luxemburg was, some people say she's like the German Emma Goldman. I mean, she was an outspoken organizer, professor. She was one of the first women who got a doctorate in Zurich in philosophy. She was an economist, a theorist, a botanist, an ornithologist, an organizer. She was absolutely incredible, and her collected works comprised 14 volumes. She was born in Poland, escaped in a hay wagon to Zurich, because women weren't allowed to go to university in Poland. She was in Zurich, and she was a founding member of the German Communist Party and of the Spartacists, along with Karl Liebknecht. They opposed World War I, fought against the entry of Germany into the war, and afterwards fomented the German Revolution along the lines of the Bolshevik Revolution in Russia, which succeeded at least for 70 years, but the German Revolution was put down very quickly, and the price was put on their head, and both Luxemburg and Karl Liebknecht were assassinated in cold blood by the police on the streets of Berlin on January 15, 1919. So their centennial was just this past month. 20,000 people marched on the canal in Berlin in memory of Rosa. And the Puffin Foundation in New York commissioned me to write an opera for Helene about Rosa Luxemburg, which Helene performed 4 times in January in New York and New Jersey. And we were in Europe also in part because there was a European premiere in German in Hamburg on February 9th. And it will be done again in Lüneburg at the Lüneburg Festival in October. So it's a very exciting, but this is the 175th work I have written for Helene, but it's the first time I wrote a whole monodrama, a whole opera, which she sang. And she's going to sing one scene of this for you. We call this the love scene. Rosa wrote hundreds of love letters, some of the most beautiful in any language. And the opera is called A Love Letter from Rosa Luxemburg. It's to her lovers and to the world. And in this case, she's singing to her very first lover, a man named Leo Jogics. And the score says Rosa and Jogics, R and J. We call it the Romeo and Juliet scene. It's a love scene, and we're going to do this for you. I'm going to take a look. I should tell her, she calls him Georgiushka as a diminutive of Jogics. And at one point, she lapses into Russian. She says, "Celuyu krepka," which is how my grandmother always signed her letters to me in Russian. And it literally means, I kiss you hard.